YouTube, good morning, good afternoon, good night. Wherever you may be in the world, thank you for joining me for another edition of the Truth Conductor Show. This is something that people need to ask themselves. What am I taking into 2024? Am I taking fear or am I taking faith? You need to ask yourself that question. What do you can't take both. You're going to have to take one or the other. You're going to have to stand in your faith, which means you don't know how it's coming, you don't know where it's coming from, and you don't know when it's coming, but you know it's coming. See, when you stand in your faith, when you stand in your fear, you're always trying to manipulate how it's going to get to you. You always got to know how it's going to happen when you live in fear. See, you always second guessing yourself when you live in fear. You're doubting yourself when you live in fear. Okay? You count yourself out when you live in fear. And you got a lot of people right now that are counting them. Matter of fact, not only do they count themselves out, they have counted out 2023. And there's still 9 days left in this year. And you'll be amazed at how many people have given up on 2023 because they can't see these last 9 days being a benefit to them because they're living in their fear. And not only that, they're taking their fear from 2023 right over into 2024. And what you think you're going to get? If you live in fear, that's what you're going to attract. You will attract fear. If that's what you live in. You live in doubt, you live in drama, that's what you're going to attract. And people need to realize that, man. See, you got folk out here that's throwing rocks and hiding their hands and think God is on their side. Let me say that again. See, you got people out here throwing rocks and hiding their hands and think God is on their side, that God is going to be there for them. And they're just as deceitful and dishonest as the day is long. Okay? Man, check yourself. Check yourself. What are you going into 2024 with? Are you going with faith? Are you going to let go and trust God? Because this is, man, let me tell you something. I'm a witness. When you trust God, boy, that's like a roller coaster ride. Because you don't know what direction God going to come from when you trust in him. You don't know how he going to move people when you trust in God. Okay? The Bible say, matter of fact, let me read this scripture to you. Let me read it to you so you'll know what I'm saying is true. Let's see. I was right. Okay. Oh, yeah. There we go. Here we go. Listen to this. This is Mark chapter 9. I'm going to start at verse 17. Then one of the crowd answered and said, "Teacher, I brought you my son who has a mute spirit, and wherever it seizes him, it throws him down. He foams at the mouth, gnashes his teeth, and becomes rigid. So I spoke to your disciples that they should cast it out, but they could not." Verse 19. He answered him and said, "O faithless generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I bear with you? Bring him to me." Verse 20. Then they brought him to him, and when he saw him, immediately the spirit convulsed him and he fell on the ground and wallowed, foaming at the mouth. Verse 21. So he asked his father, "How long has this been happening to him?" And he said, "From childhood. And often he has thrown him into the fire and into the water to destroy him. But if you can do anything, have compassion on us and help us." Verse 23. Jesus said to him, "If you can believe, all things are possible to him who believes." Immediately, the father of the child cried out and said with tears, "Lord, I believe, but help my unbelief." Your unbelief is your fear. That's what your unbelief is your fear. And you got a lot of people standing on faith scared. Let me say that again. See, you got a lot of people standing on faith in fear. They're scared because they don't know how it's going to happen. They don't know where it's coming from. They can't see the answer themselves. And God got millions of ways to bless you that you know not of. God got millions of ways he can be a blessing to you that you don't even know about. But you stand in your fear, and that's what you're going to attract to you. Remember, the man said, "Lord, I believe, but help my unbelief." And that's your fear. And some of y'all need to check your fear at the door for 2024 and go for it. Take the leap. Because if you don't do it now, when? If you don't do it now, when? Okay. I thought somebody was sending me some money. Merry Christmas, man. Happy New Year. I pray that 2024, that's the year 8, man. 8 is new beginnings. This is the year 7, the year completion. Right here, this is the year completion. 7. 8 is new beginnings. And for a lot of y'all, it's going to be new beginnings in your relationships, in your finances, in your family. It's going to be new beginnings. But you can't sit on the sidelines and do nothing. And this is the mistake a lot of people are doing right now. They're sitting on the sidelines, watching, scared to make a mistake. And when you're afraid to make a mistake, you're afraid to learn. Let me say that again. See, when you're afraid to make a mistake, you're afraid to learn. That's the only way you learn is from your mistakes. And so many people out here are scared to even try. And they stuck. They ain't learning nothing. Remember, if you start your year off like you ended up, you ain't grow. You didn't grow. You didn't grow. And you got some people, man, that are nasty, rude, drama. That's what they're going to continue to get. That's what they're going to attract to their life. And then they'll turn around and blame God because they're reaping what they sowed. And they don't like it. But they'll blame God for it. All right? Y'all, I got to get ready and get out of here to the White House. See you later.